Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a sunshine-soaked sellout St Mary's. Well, England and Northern Ireland have endured very different fortunes at these Women's Euros, but the sense of pride is still palpable with both. For England, already through to the quarter-finals, the task tonight is to continue the momentum from their outstanding, unprecedented, record-breaking 8-0 win over Norway. For Northern Ireland, it's about ending their first major tournament with a resolute, resilient performance and hoping that brings its rewards against a nation that has beaten them in every previous encounter. It's a tall ask, but then getting to the Euros in the first place was a tall ask, and that is why pride still runs through the veins of the Green and White Army, who will make themselves heard amongst this sellout crowd this evening. But they'll have to go some, because the England fans are in fine voice as well, and it is England who get us underway, playing in a mix of kits today. They're in the white home shirts and shorts, but the crimson and orange away socks. That's because Northern Ireland are in their home kit, the green shirts, the green shorts and the white socks. And the change in sock colour for England is genuinely to help viewers who are colourblind distinguish between the teams. So it's a thoughtful gesture from the England team. They've decided to do it, and that is why they're playing in this kit today. So England's playing from left to right up against Northern Ireland, who win the ball back in possession. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment. England are unchanged, one change for Northern Ireland. Laura Rafferty, the Southampton player, making her major tournament debut here as Northern Ireland into the penalty area early on and drawing an early save from Mary Earps as well. The Lionesses fans roar as England clear that away. But let me bring in the former Northern Ireland defender, Stephen Craigan. That's exactly the sort of start that Northern Ireland, ranked 47th in the world to England's 8th, would have wanted.
Well, that's the tactic that's actually given them some success in the previous two games, is using the pace of Lauren Wade down that right-hand side. Rather than playing in front of teams all the time, sometimes mix it up, throw the ball in behind. There's a decent shot across goal. Unfortunately, there was no Northern Ireland player following up, but you're right, a good positive start.
So England in possession, Lucy Bronze with the ball, plays it all the way back to Millie Bright, but she's given the ball away there. McGuinness had latched onto it for Northern Ireland, but she's caught Lucy Bronze in doing so, Kirsty McGuinness, and it's a free kick to England just inside their own half right-hand side. So I can bring in the England and Reading striker, Natasha Dowie. Can England get any better than what we saw against Norway on Monday night? I mean, it was a simply remarkable performance.
Yeah, it's a tough task, incredible performance, 8 goals. But I'm really actually liking the start from this Northern Ireland team. You know, they're really, come at England here. But England, I'm sure, will be wanting to do same again, coming up against a Northern Ireland team that, have lost obviously both of their games. Don't look actually short in confidence so far, but this England team will want to be getting the 3 points and continuing their momentum.
So here are England in possession. Forward to Georgia Stanway, who's pressured by the Northern Ireland captain, Marissa Callaghan. England work it out to the left-hand side. Here is Rachel Daly now in the lime green boots. Steps away well from the impressive Lauren Wade, who's been such a big player for Northern Ireland at these championships and will be such a big player for them as they look to build on what they've done here, reaching a major tournament for the first time. As England spread the ball out to the right-hand side. Here is Lucy Bronze, edge of the penalty area. Checks and looks for options, pulls it back to Millie Bright, swings the ball high, and Jackie Burns comes, gets a big 2 fists to it, and it's cleared up towards halfway where the England captain Leah Williamson will pick it up. So we'll take you through the lineups. For Northern Ireland, Jackie Burns in goal. The back 5 of McKenna, McFadden, Nelson, Rafferty and Vance, with Furness, Callaghan the captain, and Holloway behind Wade, and Kirsty McGuinness up front. Here is Beth Mead in position for England, midway through the Northern Ireland half. Millie Bright once more stepping up past the centre circle, deep into Northern Ireland territory. Pull ball though from Leah Williamson out to the left-hand side, looking for Lauren Hemp, and the ball is out for a throw to Northern Ireland. So England with Earps in goal, the back 4 of Bronze, Bright, Williamson the captain, and Daly. Ahead of them is Walsh and Stanway, with Mead, who scored a hat-trick in the 8-0 win over Norway. Kirby and Hemp supporting Ellen White, who is now just 1 goal behind Wayne Rooney in the race to become England's outright leading goal scorer in the men's or the women's game. Northern Ireland have the throw. once again deep inside their own territory. And just going to that starting lineup, Tash, are you surprised that Serena Wiegmann, who did say that she would go strong and is watching this game remotely, we should say as well, after testing positive for COVID, are you surprised she hasn't made any changes?
No, because I think having obviously followed the England team now under Serena, we know what she's like. We know that she doesn't like to make changes. And I also think being a player in this kind of game against Northern Ireland, no disrespect, you're going to have opportunities.
0-0, 5 minutes played, with England coming into this after that light start from Northern Ireland, drawing the early save from Mary Earps. Here is Millie Pike for England. Urged to shoot 35 yards out. She can hit them from there, but she won't. And will work it out to the left, and Lauren Hemp once more plays the ball into the area. Mead was up there. Her header is up towards goal. Didn't quite get the distance on it. Stanway will lash. Penalty to England. And Laura Rafferty, who's been penalised for handball, comes across. She had no idea, Rafferty, that the referee's decision had been that. It was a fierce shot from Georgia Stanway. Close range. We do have VAR, but on the pitch, Rafferty's been penalised and England have been given a penalty. Stephen Craigan, what do we reckon?
Well, I think the Northern Ireland that's not a penalty kick first and foremost. I think it hits the elbow of Laura Rafferty. So when VAR has a look, I think Northern Ireland are appealing for a handball on Beth Mead. I think Kirsty McGuinness tried to clear it and it hit the hand of Beth Mead, who was out with her body. So if anything, I would imagine this might end up being a free kick to Northern Ireland, but certainly Laura Rafferty's arm is tucked in beside her body. It's not in an unnatural position. It's not out with the natural silhouette. So I would hope and think that this would be overruled. Yeah,
100% agree with Stephen. Having watched it back now as well on the screen, a couple of times, that's not a penalty kick, and I'm sure it'll be overturned.
Well, she was aghast, Rafferty. She's Northern Ireland's one change for this match, replacing Chloe McCarron, making her major tournament debut. And it's such a big moment for her because she was born in Southampton. She qualifies through her parents for Northern Ireland. She plays for Southampton. She's a Southampton fan. And now she's making this major tournament debut for Northern Ireland at the home of Southampton, St Mary's. And she's given away a penalty in the opening 6 minutes. But the referee, Esther Stabile of Switzerland, very experienced official, has her hand to her ear, and VAR are checking. It's a long check, but I think you called it, Tash and Stephen. It's, yes, as you say, Stephen, the ball hits her elbow, but it is right next to her body. It's hit by such speed by Stanway. It's such close range.
I don't know why it's taken so long, though. This happened last night as well with certain decisions. I mean, to me, it's quite a simple decision. So why it's taking like a minute now to decide this, I'm not too sure.
Well, England is still waiting. Stanway has the ball. Stanway, who has scored penalties in 2 of her last 3 games for England. And Esther Stabile is going over to the screen. And this is one of those where we know what happens when the referee goes to the screen. Almost on every single occasion, it's reversed. But they want the referee to be responsible and to make the decision. But VAR could just say to her, look, it's not a penalty.
Yeah, it's not a subjective decision. It's penalty or not. It's clear cut. So for me, what can she do with her arm? She can't take it off. She can't put it behind her back. That's what defenders do. As long as her arm's tucked in beside her body. So I would hope the referee would overturn this. But Tash is spot on. We've been on to go probably about two and a bit minutes, and I don't think it needs this time for such a simple decision.
Now I wonder now if they're looking for the handball against Beth Mead, but that's irrelevant if you think that it's not a penalty against Rafferty. So really there are 2, as you said, both of you, there are 2 decisions really here that could go Northern Ireland's way, but I'm not sure why they're looking at the Mead handball if they think that Rafferty's isn't a penalty, but it doesn't seem to be. And there we go. So handball has been given against Beth Mead, but really they didn't need to look at that, because if you say that it's not a penalty against, I guess that's the restart, isn't it? You can say VAR have said no penalty, no handball, and then the restart is a free kick. Goodness me, it's taken ages, but we've got there in the end, and it's the right decision, and it's 0-0.
Well, it's actually allowed Northern Ireland to settle down for a couple of minutes. That was a bit of untidy defending. I think they have to be better in their own box. Sometimes you get too many defenders around the ball. And that's exactly what happened in that instance, where they almost leave the ball for each other. So we've got to make sure they stay tuned in.
So, England in possession. No penalty. Reversed after a VAR check. Esther Stabile going to the screen, and Millie Bright plays the ball forward over the top to Beth Mead, hat-trick hero against Norway in the last match. Out to the right-hand side now, and Georgia Stanway taking on Callahan. The Northern Ireland captain Stanway gets the ball across and it's just about cleared away from right in front of the Northern Ireland goal line by Demi Vance and Jackie Burns between them.
Yeah, so actually that's a terrific save by Burns. Vance is right in front of her. She actually pulls away last minute, so the reaction save with her feet, that's really, really good goalkeeping there. I think they need to do better to block the original cross. You know, she's tight to Stanway there. She's like shepherding her, but stop the initial cross. But yeah, good save. Now they have to defend this corner.
So corner to England, 9.5 minutes gone here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Lauren Hemp stands over this for the Lionesses. Already through to the quarterfinals, looking to continue their momentum. Good diving header out of the penalty area for Northern Ireland, and Ciara Walsh will pick it up for England just inside the centre circle. Plays it forward to the captain, Leah Williamson, once again starting at centre half. Seems very much to be the established choice of Serena Wiegman for this tournament. Serena Wiegman, who is allowing her assistant Arjan Verink to take charge on the touchline this evening after Wiegman herself tested positive for COVID. She will be in touch with the technical staff throughout this match and giving her input from back at England's training base where she is recuperating. England 0, Northern Ireland 0. Millie Bright in possession over the back of the Northern Ireland defence, looking for the run of Lauren Hemp. It's well cleared away by Northern Ireland. And now Ciara Walsh has it for England. The shot is driven in once more by Georgia Stanway, 25 yards out, and it's easily gathered by Jackie Burns.
And I think this is going to be the pattern of the game. You know, Northern Ireland are going to sit deep, they're going to try and frustrate, they're going to be hard to play against. You know, the onus is going to be on England, as it is probably most games, where they have to go and break the opposition down. They've got to try and break the resistance, break the spirit of Northern Ireland. For them, it's just to try and keep the back door shut.
So 0-0 here as Ellen White looks to break through the centre, cleared away by Vance. Let's head back to the Open and Ian Carter.
And Rory McIlroy putting for birdie at the 17th after a brilliant approach to 16 feet. Sends it on its way. Looks good, looks good. Yes! McIlroy with a big birdie at the 17th, the notorious road hole, but he's tamed it here. Raises his putter in celebration, and Vicky moves back to 10 under par.
Thanks, Ian. We'll keep you right up to date as the action continues into the evening at St Andrews. 5 Live is your place to be for full coverage of the Open across the weekends. Here at St Mary's and the Women's Euros, England 0, Northern Ireland 0. 12 minutes gone in this first half. Mary Earps will play the ball out to Millie Bright. England, who have been near flawless against Northern Ireland in the past. They have won all 11 games against tonight's opposition. Northern Ireland have scored just 3 goals against England in their history, and it's England coming forward once more. Lauren Hemp won't keep that in. In fact, you have to go all the way back to May 1985 for the last time that Northern Ireland scored against England. But when they met in the World Cup qualifiers back in October, yes, England eventually won 4-0, but Stephen Craig, and we saw at Wembley, they really put up a good fight. They were resolute. It was 0-0 until midway through the second half, and they needed England. Another hat-trick heroic showing from Beth Mead coming off the bench.
Can I just say, you're not helping my positivity here, saying Northern Ireland haven't scored against England since 1985. I'm just happy to get through, 12 and a half minutes and Northern Ireland haven't conceded yet. Hopefully they can take a little bit of inspiration from Rory McIlroy's putting up at the Open. That will certainly bring a little bit of motivation to the players. But what I've noticed tonight is they've made more contact already with the opposition. I felt against Austria and Norway, Northern Ireland were far too passive. Yes, at times you're going to give away free kicks, but you've got to use your body and be difficult to play against.
England in possession. Ciara Walsh on halfway. Goalless here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Here is Millie Bright inside the England half. And Northern Ireland will intercept and pick it up though with Holloway. Good run down the left-hand side into the penalty area, and Lauren Wade went for the early shot. And Mary Earps has made the save again, and Tash, inside the opening 13 minutes, Mary Earps of England has been the busier of the 2 goalkeepers.
Well, tell you what, I've been really impressed with Northern Ireland in these first 15 minutes. They've been, like what Stephen said, getting at this England team, actually making England right now look a little bit sloppy on the ball. They've been giving away possession, but it's because Northern Ireland have been getting in their faces, not making it easy for you. And that's a great ball there, and I actually think Wade needs to do a bit better there. I think she doesn't really make contact on the ball as well as she would have, but really positive signs for Northern Ireland here.
England it is coming forward down the left-hand side. Miscontrol from Hemp, and Northern Ireland will clear away. So top spots in Group A is decided. That will be England, but second place and qualification for the quarter-final still up for grabs. That is a straight shootout between Austria and Norway as Jackie Burns clears away for Northern Ireland and Lucy Bronze loses out to McGuinness. And John Southall is watching that match between Austria and Norway in Brighton.
Oh, Vicky, it's Austria 0, Norway 0, but Austria have just had the best chance of the game. Laura Fitzinger, right edge of the penalty area on the volley. Terrible goalkeeping, straight through Pettersson's hands, but off the crossbar. Nicole Billow is following up. Got a smash in the face for her troubles, but she's up, she's okay. Austria at the moment the better side. A draw will do for them. Austria 0, Norway 0.
Thanks, John. Here at St Mary's, England 0, Northern Ireland 0. 15 minutes gone in this first half. Tomorrow from 10:30 in the morning on 5 Live, we'll have commentary on the deciding test match between Australia and England. Do join us as our coverage of the Open continues after that. England into the penalty area. Stanway, shot deflected, saved by Burns, but fumbled at that near post and cleared away to safety for a corner by Marissa Callaghan.
Yeah, you can see Ellen White, she's trying to get the players up for this a little bit to get the, the momentum going a bit. And it's hard, I've been there, played for England before when you're playing against a team that you're expecting to beat. Sometimes without meaning to, you may be dropped to, their level. But England can't afford to do that because I tell you what, this Northern Ireland team are up for this game today. And you can see that from the start of this game.
Well, nothing to lose whatsoever for Northern Ireland. They know they can't qualify, but they made history by even reaching Euro 2022. And they know they have a platform upon which to continue to grow the women's game in Northern Ireland. Trying to hold firm here. Hemp's ball into the area. Headed on and fired over. Just a couple of yards out by Beth Mead. It got a deflection on the way through. It's good defending by Northern Ireland. It's another corner to England.
Yeah, it's all hands to the pump for Northern Ireland, no doubt about it. They don't make first contact, they don't pick up the seconds. Then it's just hoping and praying that nobody just gets a nick on it. In the end, I think it's Julie Nelson might just get a little deflection over the crossbar, but Northern Ireland know they're going to be in the back foot, they're going to be under pressure. You've got to stick together, but vitally important from set plays, can you make first contact?
Goalless on 5 Live, but England pressing for this opener. Hemp's delivery, it's a ball on this time, cleared away again at the near post, but again it's out for another corner, and Tash, the pressure continues to be piled on.
Yeah, it is, but they're defending well. And like you said, sometimes you have to take these spells, defend well, and then you'll get your chance and the momentum will be back hopefully with Northern Ireland as well. But England putting the pressure on here.
Well, the heights up from the back again for England. Millie Bright is lurking on the edge of the 6-yard box as Hemp once more swings this corner in. Burns got something on it. Stanway with the drive. Furness gets the block in. Kirby will try and play it in. It's hooked inadvertently back towards her own goal by Rachel Furness. And there was a half appeal there. No surprise it was Beth Mead saying, hang on, that's a back pass. Stephen Craigan, are you breathing a sigh of relief?
I am, because they're putting so much into the game. At times they know they're going to have to suffer. Just on the England point, listen, after such a high on Monday night, it was always going to be very difficult to come and replicate that right from the off. I think there's a little bit of complacency in the England players, taking too many touches, trying the hard pass. So I think once they get that out of their system, then they will continue to dominate the game. Plus their manager's not here. It's amazing how sometimes that plays in your mind. The manager's not here, and you think she's not watching. Believe me, she'll be watching.
She will indeed. Serena Wigman contacts with her technical team this evening after testing positive for COVID, so not at the stadium in St Mary's, but Lucy Bronze wins a throw for England on the halfway line. She's a manager that manages with very little sentiment. She's put out the same starting 11 in all 3 group games, and it's a real contrast to what Phil Neville did at the World Cup back in 2019 for England, where Mary Earps is number 1 for England, starting again today, was the only squad player in that tournament out of the 23 not to see action. Neville's idea was very much to give everybody minutes. Speaking sticks with what she knows as the ball is swung into the area looking for Ellen White, cleared away by Northern Ireland. Kirsty McGuinness will help it on, but Millie Bright is there playing high up in the Northern Ireland half still. The England centre half, and England have won it back. Lauren Hemp out to the right-hand side, plays it forward to Stanway. Burns does well, gathers down by the byline.
I think what you're saying as well about the England setup, I think it's important. Consistency is important. being a player, you want to get used to them partnerships. You want to get used to playing with the same players. And if the team are winning and performing, why change a winning team? I think there definitely will be changes at half-time. But for me, you know, I've always preferred to play with, you know, that kind of similar player. You know, you get to know each other inside and out, and you can see that with the movements of the players. They've been playing with each other now a long time.
Kirby wins the header for England out to the left-hand side. Won't be kept in by Beth Mead, and Nelson will play it forward for Northern Ireland, but well intercepted by Ellen White, dropping deep. And Leah Williamson has it once more. 0-0 here on 5 Live. 19 minutes gone in this first half as Mead, who switched over to that left-hand side, collects that ball over the top. It's well defended by McKenna. And will be cleared away off Mead as well. And the green and white army, that little pocket over there, Stephen Craigan in the corner, rise as a woman and a man, wave the green flags, hoist the green scarves in the air, because they appreciated that defending against Beth Mead.
Listen, they're going to cheer every throw-in, every free kick, every goal kick that they get. I'm just a little bit concerned at the high line of Northern Ireland. When Millie Bright's stepping into the game, the Northern Ireland back line are still moving towards her. If the player in possession of the ball has got time to lift her head, you can't squeeze the game. You can't allow that space in behind. The likes of Beth Mead on the right-hand side, or Ellen White to spinning behind. It's not possible. You know, it's going to be far too easy to play against. Lauren Hemp's almost got in a couple of times as well, so they have to be careful of their defensive line.
0-0 here on 5 Live. Another slightly poor kick out from Jackie Burns, and the ball will go straight out of play for an England throw on the halfway line. England, who know that their opponents in the quarterfinals, having already won Group A at these Women's Euros, will be either Spain or Denmark. You can listen to that match, which is to decide the runners-up in Group B, which has been won by Germany. But Spain against Denmark, you can listen to that with us here on 5 Live at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Denmark have got to win that to go through. Millie Bright in possession. Leah Williamson for England, looking to continue this momentum. 16 games they are unbeaten under Serena Wigman. It's a national record. As the flag goes up against Beth Mead. Over on the far side, they've won their last 8 games as well, the Lionesses. That is one off the national record of 9. I mean, when Serena Wigman came in, Tash, we talked about marginal gains. She's a manager who's won the Euro. She took the Netherlands to a World Cup final. But did we expect it to be this good so far for England? Yes, they're only in the group stages. Yes, you'll ultimately be judged on where England end up at these Euros. But it's been outstanding.
Yeah, it really has. And, you know, England in this tournament so far, highest passing accuracy, 88%. Most goals scored, 9. So she's had a huge impact. She really has. We always knew this England team had talent, but the impact that she's had on this team mentally has been magnificent. But I just also want to say about Northern Ireland, the way they're defending, it is terrific right now. The gaps in between the lines are forcing into England to have to play that long ball every time. And actually, they probably want to try and play through the thirds more. They want to get Kira Walsh on the ball more. But right now, all they've got is that long ball. So Northern Ireland are defending terrifically.
England and Reading striker Tash Dowie and former Northern Ireland defender Stephen Craigan with us here this evening on 5 Live. Lauren Hemp with the ball out to the right-hand side for England. Roared forward once more. Bronze with the delivery. Just too high for Mead, who does get her head on it and lays it off to Kirby, left-hand side of the penalty area. And Kirby forced all the way back to the halfway line. You can watch this match on BBC One. Commentary from Robin Cowan and Rachel Brown-Finnis as Millie Bright drives, beaten away by Jackie Burns. And out for an England corner. Well, we know that Millie Bright can hit them from there. We've seen her do it at Wembley in the Community Shield a couple of years ago for Chelsea. But it also shows, Tash, how Northern Ireland, as you've just said, are frustrating England and restricting them to drives from the best part of 35 yards.
100%. Terrific technique by Millie Bright. But if your keeper gets beat from there, then you're worried.
So corner to England. Left-hand side, goalless against Northern Ireland. The corner swung in from the left-hand side. Bright is in there, heads it towards the 6-yard box. Daly goes for the ambitious volley, spins away. It's cleared away by McKenna, and Northern Ireland on the counter. England have a player down inside the Northern Ireland penalty area. As Fran Kirby goes tumbling, Northern Ireland over the halfway line. Lucy Bronze has got back to get her foot in and dispossess the Northern Ireland skipper, Marissa Callaghan, and it's nearly but not quite Stephen Craigan for Northern Ireland there.
The disappointing thing is with Lauren Wade, it's a simple pass she's trying to make. I understand what she's doing because she's running down a blind alley. Fran Kirby's chasing her back. She's probably going to run the ball out of play. play. So check back into play, calm, composure, make a simple pass and keep the attack going. But they've turned the ball over when England were weak in numbers defensively.
0-0. Lucy Bronze in possession, but so far Kenny Shields will be absolutely delighted with what he's seeing on the sidelines. Yes, Northern Ireland need to make more of those counters, but that does not understate the task that they're up against. England, one of the big favourites to win this tournament, coming off the back of a record victory for any side of the Women's Euros against Norway, 8-0 winners. And coming forward now as Ellen White drags the shot towards goal, and it is just wide of that left-hand post. That was almost the moment there for Ellen White, looking to equal Wayne Rooney's record as England's all-time leading goal scorer. And Tash, as a striker, that was agonising to watch it dribble wide.
Yeah, it was very close there. And I was looking the way that Northern Ireland is setting up. They're almost dropping into a back six, which is because they're obviously afraid of Mead and Hemp. So they're trying to actually overload them. But then what's happening is it's weakening them in the middle area. It's too easy. Lucy Bronze can't run through the middle like that. And 3 centre halves for Northern Ireland. Ellen White's just made an easy run in behind them. Someone's got to block her, stop that easy run, but it's a great run by Ellen. It's unlucky. I'd even like to say, could she go round the keeper, because she's almost shut down the angle of the goal. Could she take a touch round her, open up the goal for her? But that's close. It's a warning sign for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I think it just further backs up my point of, if the player in possession of the ball has time or she's driving forward, the Northern Ireland backline can't stay or can't step up. They have to drop off and protect the space. We should just simple 5-yard passes, as Tash says, took out the full Northern Ireland defence. You know, it can't be as easy as that, but you have to say, great run by Lucy Bronze. She recognises the space. She's fully aware. She's a wonderful athlete. She just wants to drive into space. Northern Ireland have to be careful.
Well, we've got a stoppage in play here because Jackie Burns, who did enough to put off Ellen White, has gone down, so she's receiving some treatment. Let's check in on the Austria-Norway match at Brighton. John Southall.
26 minutes played, Austria 0, Norway 0. Austria still the better side. Norway just haven't got that rhythm at the moment. They've had a half chance. Caroline Hansen on the left of the 6-yard box into the side netting. But as it stands, if it were to finish like this, Austria would go through to the quarter-finals, 0-0.
Thanks, John. Jackie Burns is up to her feet, just taking a drink of water. And the Northern Ireland players had gathered together around their manager, Kenny Shields, as Burns received that treatment. 0-0 between England and Northern Ireland in this women's Euro match. England already through to the quarter-finals, where they will face Spain or Denmark. Northern Ireland know that the dream is ending here for them this evening. But Stephen, again, we have to emphasise what this team have achieved by getting here and what this will do for Northern Ireland women's football going forward.
Well, we hope so. We hope it brings a lot of positivity. It can't be something we look back on in 4 years' time and actually just talk about this one moment. We have to talk about the legacy it leaves and the opportunity it's going to give for young girls to go and play football. I've said it previously, they have role models, players now they aspire to be. So hopefully, it's the start of something really special.
So Jackie Burns up to her feet, the Northern Ireland #1, and clears the ball over halfway. Here is Kirsty McGuinness approaching the penalty area, trying to slide the ball in, looking for Lauren Wade. Just too much on it, and it's behind for a goal kick. But again, that tactic from Northern Ireland to play Wade in behind is evident, and England are having to focus very much on making sure they keep them at bay. They have done so far. 0-0, 27 minutes gone. Let's head back to St Andrews and Ian Carter.
And Rory McIlroy looking to finish with a second successive birdie after that brilliant birdie at the 17th. He's got an 8-footer here on the home green at St Andrews. Over it now. This to finish his round with a birdie. No! Shaves the left edge of the hole, and McIlroy will tap in for a par 4 to finish that leaves him at 10 under par, and it's a 4 under par round of 68 today, Vicky, and that means at 10 under par he goes into the third round, 3 shots behind the leader from Australia, Cameron Smith at 13 under par, Cameron Young 11 under par, McIlroy in third place at 10 under.
Thanks, Ian. So smiles for Rory McIlroy heading into the final 2 rounds of the Open. 5 Live is the place to be for that this weekend. And a steady start here for Northern Ireland against England, but England into the penalty area. And Georgia Stanway making the run, trying the acrobatics and firing the shot just wide of the post. But again, Tash, they're just having to try different things and people listening might think, well, Norway were 11th in the world rankings. They're just 3 places below England, and England was 6-0 up against Norway at half-time. What's the difference here with Northern Ireland? But Northern Ireland are just setting up in a completely different way, and they're not making the mistakes in terms of being aggressive down the flanks and leaving the space at the back that Norway did.
Yep, and I think the mindset as well, the Norwegian team aren't used to losing. Secondly, the Norwegian players play for Barcelona, Lyon, Chelsea, so their mindset is slightly different to this Northern Ireland team, if we're being honest. This Northern Ireland team have come here today to cause an upset, and you can tell that today. They are so up for it. Their organisation right now, the only way England right now are going to score a goal is either through a bit of magic or through Northern Ireland tiring, because there is no gaps for England to play in. I'm watching it now. The Northern Ireland players are getting tight. They're not letting him turn on the ball. They know what England's strengths are. It is a magnificent opening 30 minutes by Northern Ireland, and England really need to up their game now if they're going to get back in or get into this game.
0-0, half an hour played here at St Mary's. England in possession, playing from left to right in the white shirts, the white shorts, and the crimson and orange socks. Northern Ireland in the green shirts, the green shorts, and the white socks, and the green and white army keeping up their supports in that little pocket over on the far side of the stadium here at St Mary's as Millie Bright picks it up for England.
The thing that frustrates me a little bit watching this with Northern Ireland is why didn't they do this in the other 2 games? If they actually had this set up and how comfortable they are in the defending, I think they actually had enough going forward to create more. They're so disciplined right now against this England team, who are probably the most informed team in this tournament. It's a little bit actually frustrating that it's taken to this point where it's up against England, they've got nothing to lose, that they have this shape and organisation.
Poor ball by England, throw to Northern Ireland, midway inside their own half. Stephen Craigan, why is that then? Why are we seeing this performance from Northern Ireland today? Pressure's off, is it as simple as that?
Do you know what? Sometimes fear inspires you a little bit, and the Northern Ireland players will have watched England win 8-0 and thought, if we're not on our game, or we're a little bit loose, or we're off it, then we could get absolutely hammered tonight. So sometimes that comes into your thinking, and suddenly your concentration level becomes a little bit more, your energy becomes a little bit more. But exactly as Tash, why did they not do it previously? I don't know, it's not a question I can answer, but certainly tonight they've been a lot more impressive.
Lucy Bronze has the ball for England, but the referee has given a free kick to the Lionesses. Further forwards, Beth Mead going down, so good position this for England, 30 yards or so out, just in between the right-hand edge of the D and the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Beth Mead has picked herself up, and England, still looking for the breakthrough, will have a set piece, and we know how dangerous their dead ball specialists are. Beth Mead and Lauren Hemp stand over it, the 3-player Northern Ireland wall, just on the edge of the penalty area, as referee Esther Stabley moves away. 0-0 here on 5 Live. England already through to the quarterfinals at the Women's Euros. Northern Ireland making their major tournament bow will not progress to the last 8, and they cause an upset against England as Mead plays the ball into the area, and the header is just wide. It was a brilliant run by Lucy Bronze. She met it on the edge of the 6-yard box, but she can't find the back of the net.
Got to score. Terrific ball by Beth Mead, unmarked. For me, Lucy Bronze, you've got to at least hit the target there. Make the keeper make a save. She'll be disappointed. A player of her ability and her standard. I think she's almost taken her eye off the ball, and she's just not made the good contact. I think she's actually probably going a little bit too early, and then the ball's just behind her. But I think she can hold her on a little bit more there and then get a better attack on the ball.
It's far too easy though, isn't it? It's just a simple ball into the box. I think it's Marissa Callaghan that gets herself caught wrong side. That's where you've got to use your block. Put your body in front. Don't allow your opponent to get the better of you.
Northern Ireland with more defending to do, cleared away by Demi Vance. And Kirsten McGuinness won't win that for Northern Ireland, and Lucy Bronze has it once more. She might have missed a chance a couple of moments ago, but she was breathtaking in terms of performance against Norway, created more chances, completed more passes than any other England player. The ball over the top is chased by White and Mead, and Jackie Burns comes out right between them and gathers that ball on the edge of the penalty area. And I wonder, Tash, whether because Ellen White and Beth Mead were pretty much in the same space, one went left, one went right, Jackie Burns said, thank you very much, through the middle, I'll have that.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of, you're having it, I'm having it, but I think as a centre forward, you've got to have that selfish mindset. This is my ball. You're through on goal, one of you make the decision, but neither of them went for it, and lucky for Burns, she ended up getting the ball.
So England in possession, goalless here on 5 Live, 12 minutes plus added time to play in this first half. Here is Georgia Stanway, back to Lucy Bronze, right-hand side of the Northern Ireland half. Nice little 1-2. This is what they did so well against Norway, England. Bronze, well covered by McGuinness, and does very well there. Kirsty McGuinness concedes the corner. But again, it's excellent defending from Northern Ireland throughout the team.
Listen, it's the ugly side of the game. It's the side of the game players don't overly like doing, which is running towards your own goal without the ball. And you're having to go and match your opponent and put blocks in. And credit to Kirsty McGuinness, because it's easy sometimes as a winger just to drop your full back and allow them to go. But she stuck at it. She initially made the first challenge. Lucy Bronze went again. She went for the second level. So well done, Kirsty McGuinness.
Another corner to England. Lauren Hemp bounces the ball twice and places it on the edge of the quadrant. It's a packed 6-yard box, green and white shirts dotted around as Jackie Burns comes, gets a good two-fisted punch on it once again. Northern Ireland block the ball on the edge of the D. The referee, Esther Stabley, plays advantage for now. Lauren Hemp's won it back for England, sends it all the way back to Mary Earps. And Northern Ireland have all their players up, and we play on. Goalless here between England and Northern Ireland here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Good interception by Holloway for Northern Ireland. Here is Rachel Finesse. So much experience in the Women's Super League in England. The Liverpool player won promotion with them. As the ball is into the area, Lauren Wade trying to take it round Mary Earps. Did so, hits the side netting. Earps closed the angle down. Now the flag goes up on the far side, so VAR would have had a look, but again, Stephen, it's that ball through for Lauren Wade. It's paying dividends for Northern Ireland, but they just haven't been able to get the better of Mary Earps so far.
Well, I've been not criticising the Northern Ireland defence for their defensive line. The English line isn't much better, I have to say. They're a little bit disjointed, but that's much better from Lauren Wade. Again, previous 2 games, she stood out right wing and she hasn't come and got involved in the game. Tonight, she's making lovely little diagonal runs inside the pitch, and that's very difficult for defenders to pick up.
Ball over the top from Leah Williamson for England, cleared away by Holloway for Northern Ireland. Georgia Stanway will get a foot on it. And Millie Bright has it once more. Yes, Lauren Wade knows what it takes to score against the big teams. As Millie Bright again tries from 35 yards. Throws her hands up in frustration. And Jackie Burns will take her time over this goal kick. Well, she's actually saying, you know, where's the ball? Esther Stabley is coming across to have a chat. So 0-0 here, but the deadlock has been broken in Brighton. John Southall.
And a massive goal for Austria. Austria 1, Norway 0. Hanshaw with a cross into the area. And there was Nicole Biller with a header, just guided it into the bottom right-hand corner. Fantastic finish. And that's her 43rd goal for a country. And what an important one it could be. Austria 1, Norway 0.
Thanks very much, John. So Austria only needing to draw that match to go through to the quarter-finals, where they would face Germany, are ahead. Tall task for Norway once more, although slightly easier than when they played England. 6-0 down at half-time they were against the Lionesses in their last match. Beth Mead muscling her way into possession for England on the halfway line. 0-0 here at St Mary's, here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Remember, you can listen to all the reaction from this match and Austria-Norway as well on the Daily Euros. Download that from BBC Sounds tomorrow morning all throughout the tournament as Lauren Hemp swings the ball in to the penalty area, cleared away by Northern Ireland. Holloway will chest it down just outside the box and clear it away. Very good defending once again, this time by Rebecca Holloway. Again, one with WSL experience. Played for Birmingham in the top flight of English women's football, and it's all of that experience that Northern Ireland's players, many of whom were part-time until January, they qualified for the Euros as a largely part-time outfit. very much against the odds, edging out Wales in the head-to-head in their group, who were higher ranked, beating Ukraine, who were higher ranked in the playoffs, and then moving this squad onto a full-time model from January to prepare for this first major tournament, and they have done their country proud. It will end in the group stage. As England's come through into the penalty area, Kirby on the angle, pulls the ball across, Stanway stretching off the line, and Stanway won't reach the follow-up. It's behind for yet another England corner, and they are beginning to hammer on that door, Natasha Dowie.
Yeah, well, that's what we talk about with individual skill. That skill there by Lauren Hem to find Kirby, check back. It's brilliant play, found her player, and it's just great defending again, which Northern Ireland are going to be doing all night. But the thing that I found fascinating is Furness is sitting on Ciara Walsh. Anywhere she goes, even if Millie Bright has the ball, she is following her everywhere. And I think that's stopping England a lot tonight so far.
Well, we've just been talking about Holloway. It was her clearance off the line. Corner to England, driven in by Hem. Bright wins the header. It's past the post, Burns had it covered. Stephen Craigan.
Listen, this was always going to be the pattern of the game. Northern Ireland hanging on, right in their luck, getting players behind the ball, blocking things in the line. I'm just slightly surprised that Fran Kirby didn't have a shot. She chopped back onto her right foot. I thought it was on for her. She could go and try and bend into the far corner. I'm not going to criticise her because she picked out Georgia Stanway perfectly. I think Stanway will be disappointed she hasn't scored. But once again, Northern Ireland right in their luck, getting players behind the ball. And now looking at the clock, starting to edge towards half-time. Can they now, next 5-6 minutes, crucial they don't concede.
They have their first goal at a major tournament, Northern Ireland. That was scored against Norway. Can they get their first point, their first ever point against England? Or will England break the deadlock before half-time? Hemp's effort is blocked. Kirby's effort is in. From the edge of the penalty area, Fran Kirby has the breakthrough for the Lionesses. And England leads by a goal to nil against Northern Ireland.
You could say it's cruel to Northern Ireland because, like Steve was just saying, could they have held on at half-time? But this is what I was talking about with individual brilliance. It is a terrific goal by Fran Kirby. Great defending originally by Northern Ireland to originally get the block in, but she gets that half a yard, shapes it with her right foot into the right-hand side of the corner, and we all know that Fran can do this. There's only so much Northern Ireland can do. They're throwing their bodies at it. It just ricochets to Fran. First-time effort, and it's a brilliant goal.
Yeah, listen, it's a wonderful finish, no doubt about it. The frustrating thing for Northern Ireland will be they've got lots of players around the ball, yet no one manages to get out and try and block the shot. I was just saying, could they get to half-time? Now it's a reset. The mind has to be, we don't concede a quick second. That's been a recurring theme for Northern Ireland, particularly in the bigger games. When they've lost one goal, they lose a little bit of heart, the spirit goes a little bit. They can't. Full focus has now got to be in making sure England don't get a quick second.
Well, the smile on Fran Kirby's face is as broad as you like. It's her first goal for club or country since December, the start of December, when she scored in the delayed FA Cup final. She was out from the end of February through June with fatigue. They couldn't figure what was wrong at Chelsea, but she managed to come back, return to fitness, make the squad for the Euros, which was up in the air because of that fitness problem. But this is a player who on her day is simply world class. She was nominated for the Ballon d'Or in 2021. She has really struggled with those fatigue issues over the past couple of years, but she's back amongst the goals. Northern Ireland come forward though with McGuinness dispossessed on the edge of the area. Callaghan, the captain, picks it up. She's challenged by Beth Mead, and here is the goal scorer Kirby. She's such a well-liked player in the game, Natasha Dowie.
Yeah, she really is. Fran Kirby at her prime, she is world class. It's sad obviously that she's had to miss so much football over the last season, and Chelsea have definitely missed her, even though they're gone and won the league. But they did miss her 100%. Her teammates missed her, you could see that. But it's great to see her back on this pitch, and fair play to her as well, because there's so much talent in that midfield. Toon had an incredible season for Man United, so to get herself into this starting lineup, assisting, scoring goals, well done Fran Kirby.
England in possession just inside their own half, leading Northern Ireland by a goal to nil. Leah Williamson, the captain, trying to thread it through to Mead, does find her Arsenal teammate. Stanway is challenged and will be cleared away by Holloway. Lucy Barnes will pick it up and steer it to Millie Bright. I was just about to ask you, Tash, obviously it's the same starting 11 that have started all three group games for England at these Euros, whether we were perhaps seeing any tiredness, but it's amazing what a goal can do in that regard as England push for the second. Mead chests it down, right-hand side, cuts and field brilliantly. Mead still going, pulls it back, Stanway, excellent sliding block, and Jackie Burns won't quite prevent the corner, but again it's last ditch, it's brave defending from Northern Ireland, this time Laura Rafferty, and Stanway again absolutely leathered that one.
Yeah, and do you think that you can see how tight this England team is with regards to it's wanting to assist each other, wanting other players to score goals. Beth Mead right now is leading the Golden Boot. She's chopped inside there, she's through on goal. We know Beth Mead has a great strike on her, but then she looks for a teammate. It's unselfish, but it actually surprises me. You'd think she'd want to get more.
And Serena Wiegmann watching on at home will probably be pretty pleased with that unselfishness as Lauren Hemp swings the corner ring, cleared away by Rachel Finesse, brought down by Kirsty McGuinness for Northern Ireland as they look to clear, but England have won it back through Kirby. And now Hemp once more swings the ball in, cleared away by Northern Ireland. Beth Mead brings it down, now she goes for goal, and it's in! Oh, the Golden Boot might be beckoning England's Beth Mead. She might say she's not thinking about it, but I'm sure the Lionesses are, and they're thinking about keeping this momentum as they head towards the quarterfinals. England 2, Northern Ireland 0.
Well, she's thinking, I've just passed my teammate there and they haven't scored, so do you know what, I'm going to go myself this time. And it's brilliant. Like again, individual brilliance again. Chops inside on her weaker foot, shapes it into that bottom corner, but too easy from Northern Ireland. They're diving in, they're selling themselves, turning their back on the ball, and it makes really Mead's decision easy. You know, I love the effort by Northern Ireland, but it's quite a similar situation here. Throwing themselves at the ball, it's a bit unlucky, it takes a deflection off Furness, but they'll be so disappointed. They were 5-6 minutes away from going in 0-0 at half time, now they're 2-0 down.
Yeah, it's that mindset that when you concede a goal, you just got to shut up shop. You know, the girls should be looking at the clock and thinking we're almost there. Let's not give ourselves a mountain to climb. Listen, it's tough at the best of times, but it's certainly a dreadful time to concede a goal. But again, second phase of a set play, how often do you see it? Northern Ireland win the first contact, then they switch off, and England do what they do. They're a good quality side, and they pick up the scraps.
Well, they have on a free kick, Northern Ireland, a third of the way inside the England half as we enter 4 minutes of added time. Swung forward by Vance, powerfully away by Lucy Bonds, and will be picked up by Lauren Wade. Still just inside the England half, plays the ball forward, laid off by Furness. Wade will chase, good sliding challenge by Rachel Daly, and it's out for a throw to Northern Ireland, who trail England by 2-0 here on 5 Live at St Mary's. And just going back to what you said, Stephen, I mean, you said moments before Beth Mead scored, they can't afford to concede twice in quick succession, but how much is that about positive play from Mead as much as it is from Northern Ireland being weak defensively in that situation as England clear the ball away from outside their own penalty area?
Listen, it's very good play. You know, it initially comes from Beth Mead down this right-hand side when Rebecca Holloway allows you to chop back inside their left foot.
Here come England once again down the right. Here is Beth Mead, found by Lucy Bronze. Mead back to Bronze, very well marshalled by Kirsty McGuinness, and the free kick actually goes against England. They were appealing against McGuinness, but it was very good defending there, and she's really put in a shift. Kirsty McGuinness, she wants to be further up the pitch, she wants to be helping Northern Ireland in England's penalty area, but every time England come forward, she's getting back, she's working so hard, and she's being effective.
She is, but I think it's actually impacted her the other way, because when she picks the ball up in England's half, she looks as if she doesn't have the energy or the conviction to go and really make something happen. It's almost looking ahead and thinking, there's no one there, I'm going to have to run myself, and the energy levels will be running low, so Kenny Shields will have to make a substitution sensibly.
Approaching half-time, 2 minutes of added time to play. Northern Ireland 0, England 2 in this final group match in Group A. Austria are leading Norway by a 0-0 in the other Group A match. That will see Austria through to the last 8. They just need a point against Norway, who were humbled by England 8-0 in their last encounter as England come forward again. Stanway, first time ball into the penalty area, just eludes Lauren Hemp, who will try and keep it in on the left-hand side. Didn't look as though she had done, and Esther Stauberly says yes, it is a throw to Northern Ireland. And we have 90 seconds of added time to play.
It's excellent play by Stanway again, isn't it? You know, she's not a midfield player who stands and watches the game. She wants to pierce defences, she wants to run in behind, whether it's centrally or whether it's from a wide area. And as a defender, that's very hard to match. If your midfield runner drops, it's amazing how many spaces open up and can be created, and you know, more often than not she finds that space.
Cleared away by Julie Nelson for Northern Ireland, who pick it up with Kirsty McGuinness. She's well dispossessed by Georgia Stanway, just closing that space down. And Stanway has it once more as England exchange passes in a neat triangle. Ciara Walsh now spreads it out to the left-hand side. And Lauren Hemp, Beth Mead's drifted into a central position. Ball's gone out of play though, and it will be a throw to Northern Ireland. England heading for 9 victories in a row under Sarina Wiegman, who is managing remotely after contracting COVID, but looking to extend this record unbeaten run to 17 games under their manager. The record run for the Lionesses in their history. And they are 2 goals to the good here against Northern Ireland, who have on the ball back. Will they win a free kick as well? Yes, they will. Just about time to take it. Only a few seconds, though. It's just inside their own half. And England, with the 2 quick-fire goals from Kirby and Mead, have put Tash Dowie a very different complexion on a match in which Northern Ireland, as the half-time whistle goes, had given a very good account of themselves.
Yeah, they have, and they'll be disappointed to go in 2-0 down. It's going to be a hard second half for them. I think the last 5 minutes, the big problem was Rachel Furness wasn't picking up Ciara Walsh as much. She did a terrific job marking her out of the game for 40 minutes, but then she was allowed a bit more space, and Ciara Walsh will make this England team tick, like she does at Man City. So if you want to stop this England team getting into a rhythm, you need to stop her, and that wasn't the case, and I think that's why they've gone in now 2-0 up.
And Stephen, what do Northern Ireland do now heading into this second half?
Well, they've just got to regroup. You know, what they don't want to do is allow the game to become so one-sided that, you know, they can't even get up the pitch. So it'll just be about kind of recharging the batteries, just getting some more messages back into the players, and ask them at times just to commit to the game a little bit more, particularly in an attacking sense. When the ball goes over the halfway line, I think the players are frightened to run forward, they're frightened to dribble. Go and take the game to the opponent when it's possibly on. Lauren Wade has got the pace on the right-hand side. Can she become more central at times? But certainly don't give it up. Don't give it up as a lost cause. Go out and try and make an impression in the second half.
Well, England already through to the quarterfinals, but they are continuing this momentum. Half-time at St Mary's, Northern Ireland 0, England 2.
Yeah, so England in the lead at the break again, though not quite the same margin as Monday against Norway. We're going to be back with Vicky Sparks, Stephen Craigan and Tash Dowie for the second half in a little short while. But let's bring in for now Everton and England midfielder Izzy Christensen. Izzy, yet another really quite surprising first 45, I suppose, but for different reasons this time. And England are ahead, but my gosh, they've had to work for it, haven't they?
They have indeed, Emma. I think it's been all credit to Northern Ireland. I must say they've been really disciplined up until the last 5 or 10 minutes of that first half. I think they've been excellent, disciplined, and the formations worked, and they actually really limited England, which we didn't see Norway do at all. By the way, they created more chances than Norway did against England. So there's some real kind of things coming out of this first half that Sarina Wiegman won't be happy with that can be addressed ahead of the quarter-final.
Just looking back to that first 15 minutes alone, I think Mary Earps had more to do inside that first quarter of an hour than the previous 2 games combined. Do you expect Northern Ireland to possibly come out and attack the second 45 in the same way?
Well, I think that they need to look at the game now as 0-0 again and respond in the second half the way that they started the first half, and that was with high levels of discipline, focus, concentration. And you could see the body language of the Northern Ireland players when they conceded, how disappointed they were. And obviously, of course, you're disappointed when you concede a goal, but you can just tell how hard they've had to work to get up to, I think it was 35, 36 minutes before they conceded. But Fran Kirby, by the way, been the best player on the park, and that finish was absolutely superb, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the ricochet, you could say, did fall quite fortuitously to her, but that strike, there's nothing lucky about that, is there? It was carved out beautifully. And actually, it does seem as though it's a bit like Monday in that now they've got one, the taps have been turned on a bit, so perhaps Northern Ireland will be grateful for that half-time whistle. Izzy Christensen, thank you. We'll be hearing from Izzy again a little bit later in the show, but for now we can get a half-time update from the Amex as Austria are taking on Norway to progress into the quarter-finals of the competition. John Southall's watching. watching.
So far, so good for Austria. Austria 1, Norway 0. Deserved half-time lead for Austria. The goal from their second of all-time top goal scorer, Nicole Biller. Lovely ball in from Verena Hanshaw in centre field. No one picked up Biller, and she guided a header into the bottom right-hand corner. Her 43rd for her country and her first of this tournament. Before the goal, Laura Feisinger's volley was fumbled horribly onto the bar by Gura Pedersen, and Biller was also denied by the Norway keeper. You have to say, Norway again have been so disappointing tonight, yet to have a shot on target, lacking any fluidity whatsoever. They've just got to go for this now. They have to win the game. A draw will be enough for Austria, so Norway have to score twice, but at half-time it's Austria 1, Norway 0.
Two great games this evening, and we're here to bring you it all on 5 Live Sport. We're going to be on air with the live football until 10 o'clock tonight. Coming up after us will be 6:06 with Natalie Pike and Clinton Morrison. Delighted to say they're joining us now. Hi guys, how are we doing?
Hey, good evening. We're great, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. I mean, Euro 2022, it's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it? I think certainly where England are concerned, anyway, no shortage of talking points tonight for you two.
Yeah, and we want to speak to England fans. We want to know, how happy are you so far? Or are you trying to stay calm? Or are you keeping your feet on the ground? And we want to speak to Frank Kirby fans as well, because Clinton's a big Frank Kirby fan.
Yeah, big fan. I'm so happy she's got her going. Yeah, I want fans to call up, though. I don't want to be here at 10 o'clock and have no fans. So call up and we'll have loads of fun with it.
Yeah, we're going to talk all things Euros, so anything you want to talk about Euros, you're very, very welcome. But also we are going to touch on the big transfers of the week as well. So we want to know Chelsea fans' opinions on Raheem Sterling. Also City fans, what do you think about selling Raheem Sterling to Chelsea? Also United fans, are you happy? You finally signed someone. Christian Eriksen is coming, so we want United fans' opinions on that as well. Anyone else you think we want to talk about?
Whoever. Who else do we want to talk about? Not really been any major signings.
That's the big ones,
that
really.
Is the big one. Eriksen's a huge one, I think, to Man United. They need to make that statement signing, and I think it's a great signing.
Yeah, so you can give us a ring. So we want your instant reaction to the England game, anything else football, transfer related. We want to speak to you. It's 08085 909 693. So yeah, England fans, Northern Ireland fans as well. And Northern Ireland fans, feel free to call up and say how proud you are of your team for this tournament. I mean, they really held England there for the start of that first half, didn't they?
No, they've been excellent. And you know what? Credit to their fans as well. Their fans have been out in their numbers in Southampton the whole tournament, cheering them on, and they've been outstanding. And so have the girls. They can be really be proud of how they've represented themselves in this tournament as well.
So Northern Ireland fans, England fans, you want your instant reaction after the game. And then also fans of any club, you want to tell us about your transfers, or maybe you're disappointed in your transfer business. It's 08085 909 693.
Nat, Clinton, really looking forward to it. They'll be with us from 10 o'clock this evening at the conclusion of Northern Ireland against England. At the break, it's England who are 2 goals to the good. A stunning strike from Fran Kirby. Followed up with Beth Mead. I think that's her 4th or 5th of the tournament, isn't it? Well on the way for the Golden Boot. Right, over the break, we're going to be dipping into the golf as well. But now it is time to get the latest news on 5 Live. That's with Matthew Bone.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The 5 MPs hoping to replace Boris Johnson are facing questions from voters during the first TV debate of the contest. The first question they were asked was about why any of them should be trusted. The former Chancellor Rishi Sunak said he wanted to be honest with everyone in the country about the challenges posed by inflation and the rising cost of living. The Foreign Secretary Liz Truss told the Channel 4 programme she'd never put her own interests first.
What I'm saying to you is in that every statement I've ever made in government, I'm always somebody who has acted with honesty and integrity. I've delivered what I say I will deliver, and that is the way I will behave as Prime Minister.
Ministers say they're treating a red extreme heat warning as a national emergency, with temperatures possibly set to hit 40 degrees Celsius for the first time. The Met Office's highest warning covers an area including London, Manchester and York on Monday and Tuesday. It means there's a risk to life and people are being urged to change their daily routines. Speed restrictions are likely on railway lines, some schools will close early and some hospital appointments will be cancelled. Tributes have been paid to a woman from Llandudno who died while paddleboarding. Emma Powell, who was 24, was one of a group of women who got into difficulties in the Conwy estuary yesterday evening. The Russian ambassador to the UK has been summoned to explain the death of a British man who was captured by Moscow-backed separatists in Ukraine. Paul Yuri was taken in April and accused of being a mercenary. A representative of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic has said Mr. Yuri's death was linked to underlying health conditions and stress, but his family have dismissed the claim as not credible. And the Happy Mondays bassist Paul Ryder has died at the age of 58. A statement from the band said they were deeply saddened and shocked and that he would be forever missed.
On BBC iPlayer.
Who's watching women's football? My answer is the entire world.
An incredible evolution.
I've always wanted to make football as accessible as possible.
How are we going to diversify?
Is the game I love in safe hands? Alex Scott, the future of women's football.
If you put it on a stage, people will come.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
BBC 5 Live.
Euro 2022 with Emma Saunders.
Good evening and welcome back to 5 Live Sport. Coming up, we do have second half commentary live from St Mary's Stadium, where it's currently Northern Ireland 0, England 2. For now, though, we are going to be turning our attention to the golf. Quickly coming to the end of the second day at the Open in St Andrews. Australian Cameron Smith is in the lead on 13 under. American Cameron Young is one shot back, and Rory McIlroy, who finished his round a short while ago, is 3 shots behind after shooting 68. Afterwards, he spoke to BBC Sports Andy Stevenson.
Rory, how do you assess that 68?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I got off to a little bit of a slow start, and then the round lit up for me around the middle there with 3 birdies on the trot, 10, 11, 12. I sort of had to hang in a little bit coming down the last few holes. The birdie on 17 was a bonus. It would have been nice to follow that up with another one at 18, but overall, really, really happy with today. It's, I wish I'd be a couple closer to the lead, but there's still the whole weekend to go, and I'm in a great position.
You've spoken about patience this week. How important is it going to be patient tomorrow and on Sunday, of course? Yeah,
it's going to be very important because, as you could even see in my round today, there's going to be little lulls in your round where you play 5 or 6 holes in even par, and then this course sort of lets you spark into life and you can reel off a few birdies in a row. So patience will be really important over the next couple of days, especially being 3 back. You don't want to force the issue too much. And, if I go out there and play my game, hopefully I can just creep my way closer to the lead.
Meanwhile, though, there was disappointment for Tiger Woods, who misses the cut after finishing 3 over. Just a reminder, there will be extensive coverage of the last 2 rounds from St Andrews over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday on Radio 5 Live. Just to bring you up to speed then with other sport headlines today, England defeated South Africa by 114 runs in the second ODI to take an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match series. Sophia Dunkley starred with the bat, hitting a century of 87 balls. Staying with cricket, Ben Stokes will be rested for the 100 and England's T20 series with South Africa. He's been called up to the one-day international squad, as has Matthew Potts, who's involved for the first time following an impressive start to his Test career. On to football, Christian Eriksen says he's joined a special club after completing a free transfer to Manchester United. That is a 3-year contract. Elsewhere, Rafinha has completed his move from Leeds to Barcelona, whilst Riyad Mahrez has signed a 2-year contract extension at Manchester City. And next week's forecast heatwave has already had a big impact on the horse racing schedule. 2 meetings have been abandoned on Monday, as have another 3 on Tuesday. So just a reminder, we're live with you from St Mary's. It's half-time in the Euro 2022 group stage game between England and Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland trailing England by 2-0. Here on 5 Live, we've got a new podcast to bring you. Follow every twist and turn in the life of a football manager with a new podcast called Moment of Truth. You can hear that on BBC Sounds. So you'll be able to go behind the scenes, follow the managers of League One's Rotherham and Oxford United, witnessing all the first-hand drama of last season, both on and off the pitch. So to listen to that, search Moment of Truth on BBC Sounds, and don't forget you can listen to our commentary on the iPlayer and on the BBC Sports website. Now I can see a few white shirts just hovering in that tunnel. It looks as if England are about to make their way back out, so it won't be long until I'll be handing over fully to our commentary team for the second half. But let's bring them in for now. Natasha Dowie, Stephen Craig and Vicky Sparks. Natasha, actually Stephen, we'll come to you first as Northern Ireland come out. What's going to be the approach, do you think, for this second 45? Because they went pretty hard, didn't they, in the first half. Do you think with a scoreline poised like this they do the same, or what do you think?
Yeah, well, you know, the fear is if Northern Ireland open up and overcommit too many players forward, then England have the quality and the pace and the ability, I suppose the creativity to go and pick them off and get more goals. So I wouldn't say it's going to be damage limitation, but it will be similar tactics. Defend deep, defend in numbers, but just ask the players to have a little bit more belief in the final third. You know, if you're one-on-one against an opponent, can you move the ball and get a shot off? Can you drive and take them on, as opposed to always looking to pass the ball on? But certainly players behind the ball, solid in midfield. You know, and imagine that's the kind of same game plan from Kenny.
And Tasha, I suppose for England it's going to be hopeful that they can pick up where they left off, because they did finally get away through. They were frustrated to start with the long ball, but they did seem to get a bit of joy out the width, and then ultimately those two goals, they came for them just before that whistle.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy first and foremost that they're 2-0 up, so now they can afford to make these changes. Greenwood coming on, Russo coming on, Toon coming on, which we thought we would see in the second half. But I actually think they'll be very disappointed in that first half performance, and I actually then think that's why these subs are being made. You know, no one's got really a starting spot in this team. I know the team hasn't changed, but there's some really tight competition. Kirby v Toon, I think even in the wide areas, you know, that's up for grabs. Russo and White, I think they're fighting for that number 9 spot. So these three coming on right now will know they've got a massive 45 minutes to try and get themselves into that starting team, because the performance wasn't that great in the first half by England.
Yeah, huge second half ahead. Both sides in huddles, a cluster of green shirts and white shirts just separating now. Those final few exchanges, be fascinating to see what they're saying and how that plays out in the second half. So with that, I'll hand you now to take us through the second 45 to Natasha Dowie, Stephen Cragen and our lead commentator, Vicky Sparks.
Thanks, Emma. So, confirmation of those changes. Alessia Russo, Alex Greenwood and Ella Toon coming on. Ellen White, Millie Bright and Georgia Stanway making way. So Ellen White will not be equalling Wayne Rooney's all-time goal-scoring record for England this evening. Russo given another chance to impress, having scored her first goal at a major tournament from the bench last time out in the 8-0 win over Norway. So we are back underway, no changes for Northern Ireland at the break, and England, it is in possession, playing from right to left in this second half, leading by 2-0. Already qualified for the last 8, where they will face Denmark or Spain. Northern Ireland know they can't progress, but looking to end their major tournament with something to cheer about. A goal, they've already scored their first at a major tournament against Norway in the opener, or a performance very like the one they put in the first half against England, barring the final 5 minutes of that first half, in which Kirby and Mead both scored to give England this 2-0 lead. So England in possession. Here is Alex Greenwood, who's come in at centre-half today, having come in at left-back in the last match against Norway, and she's given the ball away straight to Lauren Wade, and Daly trying to get back to help out has slipped, and Wade is still going, tries to feed Kirsty McGuinness on the left-hand side, and Lucy Bronze holds her line very well, comes across, gets there ahead of McGuinness, but Stephen Craig and England almost playing themselves into trouble inside the opening 60 seconds of this second half.
Yeah, they've been a little bit sloppy at times. I think Tash was right what she said about making the substitutions, just to try and inject a little bit of life. But I mean, that was a prime example for Lauren Wade. I never thought at any stage she trusted herself or believed she was going to get past Leah Williamson and get a shot off. Whereas that's an England player, it's head down, go for goal, isolate an opponent, go 1v1. Just a little bit more conviction.
So England's in possession midway through the Northern Ireland half. Play 40, the substitute, Alessia Russo finds her fellow Manchester United sub Ella Toon. Russo drives the ball in. It's blocked on the edge of the penalty area, collected by Ciara Walsh, and back to Leah Williamson. Again, the centre half for England advanced inside the Northern Ireland half. Only Mary Earps, a lonely figure, all in yellow, stands inside the England section. England in possession just outside the Northern Ireland penalty area, out to the right-hand side. Nice little 1-2 on the right-hand side of the box. Russo is there, and Russo scores! What an impact she's had once again from the bench. Inside the opening 3 minutes of this second half, she makes it 3-0 to England against Northern Ireland.
Well, I've said it before, Russo has everything. She's strong, can hold the ball up, can make runs in behind. She's quick. She's terrific in the air. And that is a beautiful team goal. It really is. 1-2 touch, out wide. You know, it's beautiful here. Hemp gets the ball. Little 1-2 with Toon. This chip ball, by the way, just holds it up. And to redirect that, to get above it and redirect that back, because the goalie's obviously moving across the goal and she's redirected it back. It's a terrific goal. It really is. Disappointed again by Northern Ireland. And it's hard. They come out here, they're 2-0 down. You see Russo come on. You see Toon come on. You see Greenwood come on. And you know they're going to be fresh. You know, it's tough for Northern Ireland right now. And this is going to be a long second half for them now, I feel.
Yeah, it's good quality in the final third again, isn't it? You know, it's simple, but it's just a simple 1-2. I think it's Rebecca Holloway gets caught ball watching, and Beth Mead stands the ball up. I mean, Kenny Shields has put 3 central defenders in because he knew England would cost a lot of balls. Disappointing thing is you have 3 central defenders and the England player scores.
And they're coming forward again. Lucy Bronze down to the byline, pulls it back across, and Jackie Burns just smothers at the feet of Lauren Hemp. So let's take you through the lineups. Burns in goal for Northern Ireland. The back 5 of McKenna, McFadden, Nelson, Vance and Holloway. Ahead of them it's Finesse Callahan, the captain, and Rafferty making her major tournament bow at her beloved Southampton, with Lauren Wade, who's looked dangerous on the counter on occasion for Northern Ireland, and Kirsty McGuinness up front, although McGuinness has done a lot of very good defensive work for Northern Ireland as well, trying to stem the tide of the Lionesses, who lead by 3-0. They have Mary Epps in goal. The back 4 now of Lucy Bronze, Alex Greenwood, Williamson the captain, and Daly. Ahead of them Walsh and Toon, with Mead, Kirby and Hemp supporting Alessia Russo up top. And it'll be interesting to see how that midfield just works for England. Kira Walsh now sitting deep, Ella Toon pushing further forward to offer that central advanced attacking option alongside Kirby. And Beth Mead at the moment out on the right, Hemp on the left, and Russo through the centre. Alex Greenwood in possession for England over the halfway line, looking for the run of Lauren Hemp, who just about is adjudged to have kept it in. But from our angle, like it might have gone out, and in the end the flag does go up on the far side. It's a goal kick, Northern Ireland. England lead by 3-0. Well, we talk about Ellen White, Tash, and she scored twice against Norway. We know that she's one of the all-time goal-scoring records of Wayne Rooney for England. But Alessia Russo, I mean, if there's a player that could force Serena Wiegmann into changing her starting lineup, and you have to say, all things considered, you would still think that White will start the quarter-final, but Alessia Russo is really, really pushing, because every time she comes on, she does something.
Yeah, she does. And the thing with Ellen White is she's got consistency in this team, and that's a key thing as a striker, to get a run of games, to get a rhythm, to get an opportunity to score goals. But the thing that Russo does, which is so impressive, she hasn't actually started many games, but whenever she comes on, the chances that she gets, pretty much 9 out of 10, she scores them. And that's the top strikers. You know, the 1 or 2 chances you get, you take them. That's not easy on international football. And Russo is, from what I've seen so far of her this year, a prolific goal scorer. She's done it for United and she's doing it for England.
But isn't it a great problem for Serena Wiegmann to have? Do I start a prolific goal scorer, or do you bring a prolific goal scorer off the bench? They're both the exact same, so it's a terrific position to be in.
England in possession with Greenwood on the halfway line, leading 3-0 here on 5 Live. 6 minutes gone in this second half. I think she'll see it as the solution, I'm sure, which is Alessia Russo is the devastating sub to go to. I don't think she'll change her starting lineup at this point, going deeper into the tournament, although you never know, but it would be unlike Wiegmann, as England have it just outside the penalty area. Bronze's chip is claimed by Jackie Burns. But you think back to the friendlies, Tash, I mean, we were at Ellen Road together to see England thump the Netherlands, the defending champions. At that point, with White out with COVID, it was a real toss-up between, was it going to be Bethany England or Alessia Russo, who was going to be the second striker to come on, as it were. And Alessia Russo, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bethany England doesn't play at this tournament, which seems so unfair for her, because she is such a good player as well, the Chelsea forward. But Alessia Russo has made that first sub, as it were, position her own.
Yeah, she has, and I think she's taken her form from United into this England team. I think maybe that's why she's got the nod over Beth England. Beth England finished the season strong for Chelsea, but for the big majority, it didn't really play, didn't have a lot of game time. So I think Russo's consistency at United has definitely helped her get this almost number 2 spot, but she's definitely going to be the number 9 for the future, 100%.
Yeah, top scorer for Manchester United this season, Alessia Russo. It's Frank Kirby who got things underway just before half-time for England against Northern Ireland tonight. In possession for the Lionesses. Here is Leah Williamson, forward to Ella 2. Lovely turn by Russo. Flag stays down. Russo is in. Oh, it's 4! What a goal from Alessia Russo. She embraces her teammates, foremost amongst them Ella 2, who played such a key part in that goal. And England are running away with it once more at Euro 2022. They lead Northern Ireland by 4 goals to 0.
And it's the link up from Manchester United now to England. They play with each other week in, week out. They're playing with each other since, I think it was maybe under 6, under 7s at Man United, all the way through the England setup. So they know each other's movement. It is terrific skill. And I tell you what now, I'm saying that Russo's happy to be this number 2 because of her age. It's her first major tournament. But if she's scoring goals like this, I don't think she'd just be happy sitting on the bench now. She really is going to be knocking on the door. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not she's okay now with just being this bench player that comes on. Because right now, she maybe should be starting.
It's a touch of quality, isn't it? You know, how she takes the ball, she receives the ball with her back to goal, manages to manipulate the ball around, face up the goal, and then have the composure. You know, how many young strikers get into that position and they panic and they want to slash at the ball. She just calmly puts it in. But Northern Ireland now starting to look a wary team. It's amazing how goals can suddenly change body language and change mindset. They have to be really, really careful. This could get worse.
England in possession on the right-hand side. Lucy Bronze loses out to Kirsty McGuinness. England win it back and Bronze has space to burst down the right. Russo on a hat-trick, waiting in the centre, cleared away well by Julie Nelson for Northern Ireland. Helped on by McGuinness on the edge of the penalty area, and Walsh will get a head on it for England as Williamson brings it down. The Lionesses with their tails up once more as Lauren Hemp brings it down on the left-hand side, cleared away by McKenna for Northern Ireland, but Daly will pick it up again. That turn from Alessia Russo was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. England coming forward. Tash Dowie's thoughts in a moment as that ball will bounce into Jackie Burns. Does she take that touch, that turn, dragging the ball with her on the edge of the area? Does she finish so coolly because she's just stuck one in the back of the net 5 minutes before?
Yeah, it definitely helps, doesn't it, as a striker, confidence-wise, when you just banged a goal in. First touch, I think, was a header with the goal, and now she's gone and done that as well. And I think at half-time, some stern words were said to England, because the way they've come out this second half, I don't think the manager was happy with that first half performance. And she said, I tell you what, if we perform like that in the knockout stages, we're out of this tournament. So this second half is the England that we're used to seeing.
Just on that little turn, it's instinctive. She doesn't have to think about it. It's something natural she has. She's really confident in her own ability. And then the finish is wonderful. You know, it really is. But it just shows the quality that England have, the depth and the strength. And no wonder that they're one of the favourites for the tournament.
Stephen Craigan and Natasha Dowie here with us on 5 Live from what is turning into another very pleasing night for the Lionesses. 11 minutes gone in the second half here at St Mary's, and they lead Northern Ireland by 4 goals to 0. And they're coming forward once more as Beth Mead just can't take that ball in her stride inside the penalty area. And it's behind for an England corner. Everybody else, including the England players, thought that it was a goal kick for Northern Ireland. But the decision is corner.
I think it was Rebecca Holloway that just got a little nick ahead of Beth Mead. But, you know, Northern Ireland knew coming into this game tonight, if England had a spell where they were on point and they moved the ball quickly and their good players, their flair players were on it, they were very, very difficult to stop. And that's proved the point over the past 5 or 6 minutes.
So corner to be taken from the right-hand side for England. Again, the white shirts wait in the penalty area. Alessia Russo on a hat-trick after coming on at half-time. It's one of those in there, and it's punched away again. Good double fist by Jackie Burns. Northern Ireland will try and counter, but Kirsty McGuinness can't get there ahead of Kira Walsh. And the ball is back with Williamson. Miscontrol by 2. Northern Ireland have it just inside their own half. Kira Walsh is there again. She's such a wall to get past in the heart of that England midfield as Frank Kirby digs the ball over the top. Beth Mead takes it in a stride this time, tried to curl it in, very well blocked inside the penalty area for Northern Ireland, who will clear the ball away up to Lauren Wade, but she's still just inside her own half. Kira Walsh gets a foot in, Rachel Daly has it, and let's head to Brighton. John Southall.
Still 1 Norway 0. Norway have to score twice in the final half hour here, or they are going home. Bit more urgency in this second half. Hegerberg, right of the area, just dragged her shot wide. They need inspiration from her. Austria 1 Norway 0.
Thanks, Thanks, John. You might be able to hear the song around us. Tash Dowie. Yes, England are 4-0 up. Yes, they are ready. We knew heading through to the quarterfinals. It is far too early to sing this.
It's England fans, isn't it? They love getting excited, and to be honest with this team, I think they can handle the pressure. They're performing very well tonight. I'm excited now to see them in this knockout stages.
And Ella Toon's providing excitement on the pitch. Here is Toon just past the post as Jackie Burns was stretching. Oh, they've made such a difference coming on, the Manchester United duo of Ella Toon and Alessia Russo.
They always do. Every game, it's the same. Every single game, even against the Netherlands. They have such a positive impact. And now we see Chloe Kelly looks like she's coming on as well. I think all of them have been so close to pushing themselves into this starting lineup, and it's a great headache for Serena Wiegmann.
There's a beach ball flying around in the stands below us. It is still very warm here in Southampton on the south coast. And on BBC Radio 5 Live. 13 minutes gone in the second half. Northern Ireland 0, England 4. England who are going to make it 17 matches unbeaten under Serena Wiegmann, who is watching on from home. Yes, I think you're right, Tash. They must have got the Zoom up on full volume in the dressing room at half-time, because I think you're right. I don't think Wiegmann would have been too impressed with that first half from England. Although you could say if she'd made the changes to the starting lineup, you've got players out there that need to prove themselves. Was there tiredness perhaps in the 11 that were playing? They certainly seem to have switched on now. And as Alex Greenwood has the ball in the centre circle. And do you think she would change the starting lineup for the quarter-final? Thoughts on that in a moment as Fran Kirby comes down the left-hand side, interchanges passes with Beth Mead. Kirby still going, she'll curl it into the area. It's away from Hemp. Bronze will play it back in. Won't fall for Hemp or for Toon. Will fall for Walsh. 25 yards out, central position for England. Toon, nifty footwork, lays it off to Beth Mead. Back to Ella Toon, who will go for goal, and it's over the bar. And Tash, I can ask you to predict the quarter-final lineup for England.
It's tough, isn't it, as a manager, because this team's winning. So do you change a winning team? But then if you go on performance and what Russo's been performing, and even the likes of Toon, to be honest, I know Fran Kirby scored tonight. It's tough, it really is. I don't see her changing the starting 11, but she is so fortunate that she has got these players that are coming off the bench and changing games for her week in, week out. So when it matters, when it comes to the knockout stages, and it's going to be tighter games, it's going to be tougher games against the likes of Spain, she has those players that are performing and can come on, score goals, assist. So that's great for her.
England have made another change, half an hour to play, 4-0 up against Northern Ireland. Chloe Kelly has come on for Lauren Hemp. As Julie Nelson clears away at the back from Northern Ireland. And even the substitutes are predictable, aren't they? I mean, it's the same players, bar Jill Scott, that came on against Norway. Slightly different order. Greenwood coming on before Kelly. But this is what Serena Wiegmann does. She did it with the Netherlands when she won the Euros in 2017. Very rare that she made changes once she found her starting 11, and she did it when they reached the World Cup final as well. England in possession, just outside the centre circle, and it speaks to the identity that England have as a team, because similarly to the Netherlands, they just don't really change their tactics depending on the opponent, because they're confident in the way they play as England have the ball midway through the Northern Ireland half. Here is Leah Williamson, plays it to Fran Kirby, central position, 30 yards out to the left now, and Rachel Daly swings the ball in. It's poor, and Jackie Burns will watch behind.
What I would be interested in, though, I know she doesn't change the team a lot. If this England team maybe weren't performing, or let's say they lost a game, would then she change the team? But right now, because she's won every game, you know, you don't change that team. But come the knockout stages, let's say maybe, you know, or even before, obviously, where they'll be knocked out of the tournament. But it would have been interesting just to have seen the build up to this tournament. If maybe they'd lost a game, individuals hadn't have played well. I mean, Rachel Daly, to be honest, she's kind of forced herself into this team. Alex Greenwood was, you know, Demi Stokes even, like, you thought maybe she'd be the fullback. So I don't necessarily think she's got a fixed mindset on a certain team, but they have been performing, so they've made her life easy for her.
But it also adds an edge to the subs coming on during the game, because you think, I want to catch the manager's eye, I want to show what I can do, I want to be part of this atmosphere in these big games, so it just strengthens it the whole way through.
Here comes Fran Kirby for England, who lead by 4-0, 17 minutes gone in this second half. Here on 5 Live, Northern Ireland preparing to make 2 substitutions. Kelsey Burrows and Abby McGee are waiting to come on, as Lucy Bronze has it on the right-hand side for England. Nice touch by Toon, who is dispossessed. We'll come back all the way to Alex Greenwood. You touched on Greenwood there. I think the frustration for Greenwood is she looked set for the centre-half role, didn't get a chance to show what she could do at left-back, and then Serena Brigman played Williamson there instead as Northern Ireland almost allow Russo to get it in the penalty area. Bronze is dispossessed. The shot scooped in the end by Toon is gathered by Jackie Byrne.
Yeah, I think Greenwood's been really unlucky this tournament. She's been terrific for Man City this season. Her passing ability, set pieces as well, is magnificent. I think probably the change, maybe Frank Kirby coming in, performing well, Leah Williamson then getting pushed to the back has obviously then meant Greenwood missed out, but what a terrific sub to bring on, very experienced player.
Lauren Wade heads the ball towards the England penalty area, but she is the furthest player forward in a green shirt, and England can tidy up. England leading by 4-0. Not a good night for Northern Ireland here, but it has been a good day for Northern Ireland's Rory McIlroy. He is third on the leaderboard at the Open, 3 shots behind leader Cameron Smith after the second round. Our coverage continues from St Andrews tomorrow here on 5 Live as the ball is all the way through to Jackie Burns and Stephen Craigan as we wait for these 2 substitutes to be made for Northern Ireland. So much of this tournament and this game, it's about experience for these players, and that's something that Kenny Shields has been very clear on.
Absolutely. I mean, it's tough with, 27 minutes to go and you're losing 4-0. You think about the good experience and actually enjoying the occasion. I think they enjoy it when they get home and they sit back and they look. But you can see now when they're tired and they're weary, there's more gaps appearing. England are bringing on players who are as good as the ones that are going off, if not better. And that becomes a real difficult task when you're a small nation.
Yes, it is such a strong squad for the Lionesses. It's why they're one of the big favourites to win these Euros outright. And they've gone about the group stage very well indeed. Not the best performance against Austria in the opener, but they got the win. Not the best performance here against Northern Ireland in the first half, but they're 4-0 up. And the very best performance against Norway in between. 8-0 winners. And really laying down a marker for Euro 2022 as Jackie Burns launches it long for Northern Ireland. Alex Greenwood dispossessed, but the foul goes against Kirsty McGuinness for a handball. She's saying it hit her shoulder. Referee Esther Stabley disagrees. Free kick to England deep inside their own half. And here come the changes. So Laura Rafferty's night is over. It's not a scoreline she'll enjoy, but I'm sure she's enjoyed the occasion. Part of this Northern Ireland side playing in front of the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of at her beloved Southampton. She is coming off and replaced by Kelsey Burrows, and Rebecca Holloway makes way as well. And she is replaced by Abby McGee. He was one of those players, Stephen McGee, that stood out very much against Norway in particular.
Yeah, she was brilliant. You know, as a defender for Northern Ireland, you've got to have an incredible amount of energy because you're expected to get yourself forward in attack but also get yourself back and defend, and more often than not you're defending, you're starting deep and you've got to cover a lot of distance. So she's playing an unusual position tonight. I think she's gone into midfield. I think that's just to bring a little bit of energy. She's got a good bite, she's got a good appetite for the game, and it's great to see Kelsey Burrows coming on. She's from the same town as I'm from, back in Northern Ireland, so certainly know the people of Cumbria will be pleased to see her on.
England in possession, leading by 4-0. Here is Beth Mead, leading the charts for the Golden Boot. 5 goals now for the tournament. We should say that Alessia Russo has now got 3 and is level with Greske Euro of France, who was second behind Beth Mead in the goal scoring charts. Phone lines are open for 606, which follows us. You can have your say on Euro 2022 and all the day's big footballing stories as well. 08085 909 693. Book your call now. And 606 will get underway after the conclusion of this match here at St Mary's. Midway through the second half. Northern Ireland 0, England 4.
I think it's great as well, Vicky, that England have went around different cities. You know, they've been to Manchester, had a huge crowd, been to Brighton, been tonight. So cities around England are getting a little taste of the momentum, the feel-good factor, the energy, the atmosphere, but also the quality of play that England have and the quality of players. So it's all starting to build nicely for them.
Kira Walsh in possession for the Lionesses, just outside the centre circle. Pressured by Rachel Finesse. And now Leah Williamson, the captain, will take over. Out to the right-hand side, and Lucy Bronze. Chloe Kelly's on the move, down the right, well covered at the back by Northern Ireland, and Kelsey Burrows, the substitution, shepherds it out well for a goal kick. In terms of the learning curve for Northern Ireland, Stephen, Kenny Shields made a really interesting point in his press conference yesterday. He was talking about the friendly that England had back in February 2021 against Northern Ireland. England won 6-0, and he said he was so angry after the match because the Northern Ireland players all queued up outside the England changing room asking for autographs. And you can understand why, because for many of them they were heroines of what the Lionesses have achieved. But he said there's been a mindset shift since then. And actually, you can't think of an opponent like that. And England have played them twice more in the World Cup qualifiers since then. Yes, they've won heavily both times. But have you seen that mindset shift since then, 18 months on, coming to this major tournament? And where could it take Northern Ireland in the future?
I think there has been a mindset change. But ultimately, when it boils down to 11 players against 11, England have been better. They've got better players. I mean, we're talking this England team. England could probably put out 15, 16 teams that could beat Northern Ireland. So that just tells the enormity of the task. So yes, the mentality's changed, but you know, the Northern Ireland players will have to get better in every department, physically and mentally, and as well as technically. That's what they have to do moving forward, and this tournament shows that.
England play the ball into the penalty area, looking for this fifth goal. It's controlled by Ella Toone. Tried to play it back to Beth Mead on the edge of the penalty area. Rachel Daly is dispossessed. Northern Ireland have a player down. It's McKenna. But they do still retain possession and work the ball out to the left-hand side. Northern Ireland 0, England 4, approaching the 70th minute as the ball into the penalty area, looking for Lauren Wade, is well anticipated by Rachel Daly. And they've defended that ball better in this second half, Tash.
Yeah, they have. Their all-round game's been much better. Poor decision there by Northern Ireland. She's got the easy ball out wide to McGuinness, and she's tried to, go for the hard ball, and it's intercepted. I think when you've been defending for so long, the key thing is when you win possession back, to keep the ball. Even if it's just a couple of minutes spell, just to get a breather. To stop England's momentum. But yes, you're completely correct. England's defending, attacking, their all-round game has been terrific this second half.
Well, a quarter-final against either Denmark or Spain awaits for England. That is a straight shootout between those two to see who finish runners-up in Group B. You can listen to it tomorrow on BBC Radio 5 Live from 8 o'clock. Remember to download the Daily Euros from BBC Sounds, which will give you all the reaction to this evening's match, and Austria against Norway. Austria still leading by a goal to nil. Norway need to win that match to go through, otherwise it will be Austria through to the last 8 to face Germany. There's Northern Ireland just knocking around at the back. While you're on BBC Sounds, do check out our new podcast, Moment of Truth, where you can follow the twists and turns of the life of a football manager, go behind the scenes and follow the managers of Rotherham and Oxford United. Moment of Truth. Search for it on BBC Sounds. England in possession now, right-hand side as Northern Ireland lose the ball. Chloe Kelly plays it back to Lucy Bronze, and square now to the England captain, Leah Williamson. England, who continue to see the records tumbling at this Women's Euros. They played in front of a record crowd at Old Trafford. They got a record win for a Euros, men's or women's, against Norway last time out. And they have now scored more goals than any other side in a single Women's Euros group stage. Germany had set that record in 2001 with 11. England, with their 4 tonight, are now on 30. Leah Williamson comes forward. They're not done yet, you sense the Lionesses, as Northern Ireland drop back into that defensive formation. Here comes Williamson, digs the ball into the penalty area, cleared away by Nelson and helped on by Lauren Wade, but there's nobody up there. And Stephen Craigan, do you get the sense this could be a long last 20 minutes for Northern Ireland?
Well, since the fourth goal, then I think I've looked at the clock about 15 times just to see where it's at. Listen, the players will be feeling it. It's tough. It can be soul-destroying. You're chasing the ball. The problem is when they land in possession of the ball, they want to take a rest. You can't. You then have to drop the handbrake. You've got to try and speed the game up and move forward. They had that little spell on the edge of their own box where they're making passes. There's no purpose to their passing. Whereas you look at England, they're purposeful, they're moving, they're trying to play between the lines. They've got wide players coming in. So, there's a huge gulf.
Off she goes now, Alex Greenwood. She's got purpose, plays it into the edge of the penalty area. Applause from Frank Kirby for the effort from Greenwood, but the pass was poor in truth. And it's all the way back with Rachel Daly. Let's head to Brighton. John Southall.
Austria 1, Norway 0. Should be 2-0 though. Lisa Marcos on as a substitute. Her first touch on the left of the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper Pedersen just did enough to get her left foot to it and put it wide over the right-hand post. Norway are running out of time. Austria 1, Norway 0.
Danger here as England outside the penalty area. Kira Walsh will drive over the bar. In the end, the shot is high. But Tash, there were 2-3 chances for England to get an effort away there as Northern Ireland really played themselves into trouble.
Yeah, I think when England are in these situations, they're going to be setting themselves individual goals as a team now as well. You know, the game's over, they're 4-0 up, but they want to keep clean sheets. Serena Wiegman has already expressed that. Now, 3 games, 3 clean sheets, I think that's important. More goals, of course. You know, individual players getting on score sheets, individual players creating. So I think they've still got individual goals set within the team.
Little risk taken there by Rachel Daly, almost stolen by Lauren Wade midway through the England half, but England have the ball outside their own penalty area now with Leah Williamson out to the right-hand side and Lucy Bronze leading by 4-0. 17 minutes plus added time to play here at St Mary's, as that won't be kept in by Chloe Kelly on the far side, and it's a throw to Northern Ireland. In terms of those clean sheets for England, Stephen Craigan, I'm loath to mention it again, 1985, the last time Northern Ireland scored against England, but that they have been so mean and miserly in defence when it comes to their play under Serena Wiegman, conceding just 3 goals across what is now 17 matches as England make their final change of this match. Lucy Bronze is off and Jess Carter gets some action at the Euros. She is on.
Yeah, England are good defenders. You know, Millie Bright, particularly in that first game against Austria, I know Tash and I spoke about it on the programme the other night. Just her defensive capabilities, how strong she is in the air, and they're quite happy to go 1-for-1. You know, they don't mind being isolated 1v1. They're good defenders in their duels. And you know, when you think of how open and attacking England are, at times they do leave themselves exposed, so you have to rely on good defenders, and you just look around, it all just fits perfectly. You know, attacking, defending, everything about them is in a really good place.
Lovely ball by Carter to Kirby. Russo can't quite trap it. The offside flag goes up now on the far side. Northern Ireland had the ball there. Might be a little bit of frustration for McFadden because she was bringing it out of defence, but the whistle's gone. It will be a free kick just outside their own penalty area. So major tournament debut for Jess Carter, who's had a very impressive season with Chelsea, as the attendance is announced here at St Mary's, and it's another packed stadium, 30,785. The atmosphere has been impressive, Tash, not just from England but from the Northern Ireland pockets, the green and white army over in the far corner as well.
It really has. You know, they've been singing both crowds. The atmosphere's been bumping, you know, right from the start, right till now. And I'm sure it's going to continue throughout this tournament. Every single game I've been at this tournament, the crowd's been superb. Great to be involved, great to be here.
I think there's a sense something special's happening, and that's why the fans get behind it. That's why you're proper excited, Vicky, in your commentary. It's great. It's coming across wonderfully well because everybody's buying into the moment.
Well, they know going into this tournament that the Lionesses were among the big favourites. Can England live up to the billing? That's always the question as the ball is into the area. Oh, so unfortunate for Northern Ireland. It's an own goal from Kelsey Burrows. She was trying to intercept the delivery and she has steered it, looped it over her goalkeeper, Jackie Burns. Kenny Shields shakes his head on the touchline, but it's all smiles once more for the Lionesses. They lead by 5-0 against Northern Ireland.
It must be great, mustn't it, to be a player in this England team? It's not great defending, let's be honest. You know, her body positioning's wrong when the ball comes in, and she should do better there. She should be able to clear that. So that's poor, but let's go back to this England team. Being a player in this England team now, whether in the starting 11 or you're on the bench, it must feel great, mustn't it? You know, it's almost like they just come into every game believing that they're just going to win the game, you know, before they've even walked onto the pitch. And what Stephen just said, everything seems to be clicking right now. It's almost too good to be true. So that's why I'm really excited to see them up against a Germany or a Spain, just to see, is this England team as good as we all think they are? That's going to be the real challenge.
Do you know, over the past couple of days I've heard people saying after the Norway game, you know, get the players' feet back on the ground, settle them down. No, they're off the ground, let them fly. You know, that's what you do as a manager and a coach. You try and get your players off the ground, you try and get them excited and in a good place. You don't want to curb that, you want to try and keep it going and build on it. I think tonight the biggest enemy was probably complacency, and that happened in the opening 45 minutes when they were a little bit slack, but since then it's been one-way traffic.
England in possession, Leah Williamson striding forward, the crowd's feet are off the ground. You might be able to hear that song again. I'm not even going to say the name, should not be singing it yet. or maybe we let them have their fun. But there's a long way to go on the road to Wembley. 31st of July, that's where England are aiming for as they look to win their first major trophy in the women's game. They're 5-0 up against Northern Ireland. And Beth Mead has it once more outside the penalty area. It was her delivery that forced the own goal from Kelsey Burrows. As England once again underline their credentials as Kirby plays the ball into the penalty area. They're all appealing for handball. The referee Esther Stavely not interested this time. Remember, England had an early penalty overturned by VAR for handball in the first half as Northern Ireland look to counter. Demi Vance is up there. VAR are checking as we play on. Mary Earps has the ball for England as that Northern attack doesn't come to anything. And England will just slow the play down and might just look over and wait for the VAR decision, but the play needs to stop for that.
Surely
so
VAR has some sort of sympathy towards Northern Ireland. Come on, do us a favour.
Do you really believe that, Stephen Craigan?
No, I don't.
Do referees have sympathy for anyone? Maybe that's a harsh question. Well, that's what they're there for, to make those objective decisions. And VAR are still checking as England have it just inside their own half, over the halfway line. Leah Williamson out to the right-hand side and Jess Carter tussling with Kirsty McGuinness. And McGuinness has done really well there to win that ball from Carter. Free kick to Northern Ireland just inside their own half. Now the VAR check is over, so we will play on. So let's pop back to Brighton. John Southall.
Austria 1, Norway 0. Norway suddenly, finally showing a bit of urgency. They need 2 goals in these final 10 minutes of the game to get through to the quarterfinals. Have to say it's unlikely. Hegerberg a moment ago almost through, but Zinsberger in the Austria goal was alert. Have a corner Norway on the far side. Austria 1, Norway 0, 10 minutes to play.
Thanks, John. As Northern Ireland make another change, Dean Caldwell is on for Rachel Furness. Northern Ireland's all-time record goal scorer Furness, but has not had a sniff in front of the England goal tonight. So Caldwell is on. So Austria at the moment in pole position to go through and face Germany. We should say as well, when we're thinking about England's progression deeper into the tournament, because Germany and France have won their groups already, like England after 2 games, England would not play Germany or France until the final. And that is a positive given how well both of those sides have played in this tournament so far, as Abby McGee will try and make something of this for Northern Ireland. Now Kirsty McGuinness plays the ball into the penalty area, blocked well by Jess Carter. Chloe Kelly will pick up possession. Down the right she goes. Oh, that's brilliant from Kelly. Still going Kelly. Russo needs to stay on side. Toon's making the run through the centre. She's screaming for it. Chloe Kelly is still trying to beat everybody down the right. In the end concedes the free kick, and Ella Toon, who has bust a gut to get up to the penalty area, bows ahead, waves her right hand in frustration. Bit of Manchester City, Manchester United competitiveness there, or is Ella Toon just annoyed that she's run all the way for no reason?
Yeah, probably the second part. I think Chloe Kelly originally does great, but then she has to get her head up. You know, she's got 2 players ahead of her. You're not going to get them past them 2 players. She needs to get her head up. Toon was wide open for the switch ball. She needs to find that pass.
So 10 minutes to play in Southampton. Northern Ireland 0, England 5. And remember, you can listen to all the reaction from this match and Austria-Norway as well, as we continue to find out more of the quarter-finalists for Euro 2022 on the Daily Euros podcast. Just download that from BBC Sounds. And if you don't have BBC Sounds yet, go to your App Store, search for it and download it to listen to all of our podcasts, including the whole back catalogue of Jill Scott's Coffee Club. Well worth checking out as Beth Mead goes down on the edge of the penalty area. McKenna brings the ball away from Northern Ireland, but the whistle's gone. Free kick. What do we make of that, Stephen Craigan? Nifty footwork initially, and then she ran into McKenna.
They're just so good in 1v1 situations. You know, they want to isolate defenders in wide areas, whether it's Lauren Hemp, whether it's Beth Mead, whether it's Chloe Kelly, whether it's Fran Kirby. They have the ability to manipulate past an opponent and put a dangerous ball in, and that's just another example of it. And when you have that strength and depth, if it's not working during a game, Serena Wigman can just take players off and bring others on.
So free kick to England, looking for their 6th goal against Northern Ireland. The last meeting between these two back in April was 5-0 to England. England won 6-0 back in February 2021. Which will it be tonight? The atmosphere rises a notch once more around St Mary's here on the south coast. 8 minutes to play. England with this free kick from the wide left-hand side. It's left by Ella Toone, swung in by Beth Mead, past everyone, out for a goal kick.
I just think from that angle of free kick, I would always try and ask the player to try and aim for that far post, because if everybody misses it, it potentially hits the post and stays in play. So she gets good width on it, good pace on it, probably just too much height, but certainly was a dangerous, a tantalising ball into the box.
So Jackie Burns prepares to take this goal kick for Northern Ireland, who again will hope that the exposure of this tournament, even though it is ending in the group stage, will just once again show to that generation of girls and boys growing up in Northern Ireland what an amazing thing it is to play for your country. And they might think what could have been in terms of the 2-0 defeat last match against Austria, particularly without Simone McGill, losing their star forward to an ACL injury in the first match against Norway. I mean, as we said at the start of this commentary, it was always a tall order. They were daring to dream Northern Ireland at this Euros, but losing McGill was such a key blow. She says it is the proudest moment of her life to represent Northern Ireland as Jackie Burns punches. Beth Mead will pick it up. Mead curls over the bar. Half the stadium thought it was in. It was one of those that hits the stanchion, rocks along the back of the net, but it wasn't. It just missed, and it's still 5-0.
Yeah, it's a great effort by Beth Mead. Chloe Kelly seems to be able to get crosses from nowhere. You almost think the defender's there. How is she getting that cross in first and foremost? It's a terrific cross. Not the best or most convincing punch from the keeper into a bit of a poor area. Great touch by Beth Mead there. The second touch just kills it, and you can see what she's trying to do. Just shape it into the top corner. Just leans back a little bit and gets a bit too much on it.
So Jackie Burns clears away for Northern Ireland, who trail England by 5-0. 6 minutes plus added time to play as Walsh drives that ball out to the right. Chloe Kelly won't keep it in. Northern Ireland throw. So do give us a call this evening on 5 Live on 606. If you're an England fan, tell us what your hopes are for this tournament. Can England go all the way? Who would you rather have in the quarterfinals, Denmark or Spain? It'll be one of those two. You can listen to that match here on 5 Live tomorrow from 8 o'clock. If you're a Northern Ireland fan, give us a call as well. How proud are you of the Green and White Army fans and your women's side here at these Euros and what they've achieved? Where can women's football in Northern Ireland go? Call us on 08085 909 693 for reaction to the games tonight at the Euros and all the days on the talking points in the world of football. Whatever it is, give us a call and have your say as Jackie Burns closed down by Ella Toone, who just gave her a bit of a shove there as well. Toone cleared away by Burns over the halfway line, and England have possession midway through their own half. Forward once more by Ciara Walsh. Ella Toone with the diving header, didn't make contact, and McKenna will bring it forward for Northern Ireland. Nice ball out to the right hand side, and Lauren Wade. Can Northern Ireland find a consolation? Can they find their second goal at a major tournament in their history? The ball into the area is deflected, will be attempted to be brought away by Alex Greenwood, who does well, and it's a goal kick to England with Mary Oates and Sasha Dowie.
I tell you what, I just want to also say someone from this Northern Ireland team that should be proud of themselves is McFadden. For me, she has been absolutely terrific in every single game. Second in tackles in this tournament with 10, second in ball recoveries, you know, so she is someone that I'd want to go to war with. So everyone in this Northern Ireland team should be so proud, but for me, she has been the standout player.
Sorry, Vicky, I think this is a nice moment. Ashley Hutton's coming on. She's the only outfield player who hasn't had a minute during this tournament. I think she's 35 or 36 years of age. She made her debut back in, I think it was the 14th of March 2005 against Sweden, along with Sarah McFadden and Rachel Furness. So it's nice to see that Kenny Shields, a little bit of sentiment, absolutely, because she's been with me at the national team for a long, long time. I'm delighted to say she's now on the pitch.
And she's on now, as you say, Stephen Craig and the Linfield player, and she was such a key part, wasn't she, of Northern Ireland getting here. She scored the late equaliser, 94th minute in the group, qualifying group against Wales, which in the end meant that Northern Ireland edged ahead of Wales in the head-to-head on away goals and went into that playoff with Ukraine. And as you say, to get her moments, to make her debut at a major tournament in these final few moments, it's a moment that Ashley Hutton will never forget. And huge appreciation for the players coming off as well, the captain Marissa Callaghan and Julie Nelson, replaced by Emily Wilson, who Julie Nelson has her own moment of history, scoring Northern Ireland's first goal at a senior women's major tournament. It looks as though it will be their only goal of these European Championships, with 3 minutes plus added time to play. England leading by 5-0. And England coming forward again. Here is Frank Kirby, lays it off to the right-hand side, and a Chelsea teammate Carter, first time Pauline. Russo's in there on a hat-trick, heads over. Big chance, Tash Dowie.
Yeah, surprised I didn't see it hit the back of the net, to be honest. Brilliant play by Rachel Daly to start off this attack. Great ball out wide to Frank Kirby. One-touch ball, and for me, she's got to score there. She's too good in the air to not attack that. I think potentially maybe the ball's a bit high. She doesn't get over it well enough, but I'm really surprised that wasn't a hat-trick there for Russo.
Yeah, she'll certainly rue that. There's no doubt about it. That's a wonderful opportunity. Again, she always seems to find space in between defenders. Some people say it's luck. It's not. It's manufactured. She's proactive. She's on the move. She's anticipating the ball coming into her area. She'll be disappointed with that.
Here come England once more. Ella Toon plays the ball into the penalty area. Here is Beth Mead. Beth Mead pulls it back. Russo, it's an even better chance for the hat-trick, and she skied it from the edge of the 6-yard box over the bar. 2 chances in a minute. The first was silver, the second was golden. She should have had that match ball, Tash Dowie.
Do you know what? The funny thing is, we've all been there. You score the hard chances, and then these are your bread and butter. And it's almost, she's actually scored the goal before she's contacted it. I've been in these situations. You relax, instead of actually getting over the ball, seeing the ball hit the back of the net, she thinks, I've scored this. That's a massive miss. And credit to Beth Mead as well, who's fighting for this golden boot to put it on a plate for her.
Credit to Ashley Husson as well, perhaps Stephen Craigan for doing enough to put her off.
Yeah, you have to be in and close on defenders, and I was just saying about how she always seems to find space inside the box. There's another occasion it's happened. And centre forwards, Tash will tell you, they probably don't know how to explain that to people. They just have an instinct where they just pull into spaces. They're always looking around for the little pockets, but again, that was probably a better chance, a much better chance than the header, but hopefully from a Northern Ireland perspective she doesn't get another one.
England lead by 5-0 into the final minute of normal time here in Southampton. We'll be checking in with Brighton shortly. Northern Ireland, though, were on the counter. Rachel Daly gets a foot in. Did she get fouled there? No. Rachel Daly, though, does win the challenge against Lauren Wade. Goes out for a Northern Ireland throw. So to Brighton, John Southall.
3 minutes left to play. Austria 1, Norway 0, and Norway have just had their first effort on target. That says it all. In the 89th minute, Idorsoy tipped over the bar by Zinsberger in the Austria goal, but it looks like Norway are heading home and Austria through to the quarters. Austria 1, Norway 0.
Well, it's Euro 2017 all over again for Norway. Started so well against Northern Ireland, but going out in the group stage once more. They were finalists back at Euro 2013. Not gone well for them. And Arda Hegerberg, one of the best players in the world. Her return to the national side was so fated, but what will be fated is this result once again for England. No added time at the end of the second half, but England turned up in the second half. They've beaten Northern Ireland by 5-0, and Natasha Dowie, momentum very much continuing.
Very much so. Really impressed with England's performance in the second half. A really strong team performance. The 3 subs changed the game. Russo will be really happy to get the 2 goals. Should have had 4. But I think Serena Wiegmann will be happy with that second half now going into the knockout stages.
Yes, watching on from England's base camp after contracting COVID. I think she might have had a word remotely at half-time because Stephen Craigan, they just stepped it up and Northern Ireland couldn't handle them.
No, they couldn't. When you watched England beat Norway the other night, and when you watched how much that they struggled against this England team, it was always going to be very ominous for Northern Ireland to try and make this game competitive tonight. They've got strength and depth, they've got quality, they've got every attribute a team and a successful team wants and needs, and that's exactly where they are. They're enjoying the moment. It's not phasing them playing in a home tournament. Every player seems on their mettle, and they all want to be part of it. They all want to be part of something special that seems to be brewing. Unfortunately for Northern Ireland tonight, it was always going to be backs to the wall. They didn't really lay a glove on England, but there is a huge gulf in class between the two teams. For Northern Ireland, it's homebound. For England, it's on to the next step, and that final potentially and championship potentially awaits them.
Well, the pride will still be there for Northern Ireland. They're walking over to their fans now. The Green and White Army over in that far corner. They're getting a rousing ovation. They've made history, these players, competing at Northern Ireland's first major tournament in the women's game. It ends at the group stage. Natasha Dowie, where will this tournament end for England?
Right now it's looking very good. It really is. I think England, Germany, I think have looked very strong, and I think Spain, they just need to put the ball in the back of the net, but the football they play is exquisite. So them three for me are the favourites. France as well, but obviously losing Katoto is going to be a massive loss for them. But England, their performance right now, it wouldn't surprise me if they can go on and win this thing, but let's not get carried away also.
England equal their national record of 9 wins in a row. They extend their longest unbeaten run in Lionesses history to 17 matches. Under Serena Wiegmann, it's been another very, very good night at Euro 2022 for England. 5-0, they beat Northern Ireland in Southampton.